Hello, 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 and welcome to My Empty Hands, a podcast about the martial arts with a focus on Kempo. As always, I am Reggie Darden, and I am excited to be chatting with Lori Lewis today and getting to hear her story. And we've you were actually probably one of the first people that I was going to have on, but schedule and life and everything gets in the way. So we worked it out, and here we are. So we're gonna talk some martial arts. We're gonna talk some Kempo. We're definitely going to talk some Benny Urquidez. For the listeners, she's got a nice little poster of the man in the back there, and we're gonna just definitely get into all that good stuff. So. Go ahead and fill us in on how your martial arts journey started. How did the martial arts find you? And we'll just get right into it.
Well, hey, Reggie, it's so nice to get to talk to you, and thank you for having me on. I've been fascinated with sports since I was a little girl, growing up in Chicago. Everybody's into sports in Chicago, so it's kind of a given in a way. But I was particularly obsessed with the Chicago Cubs. 64, so my era had maybe you're a little younger than me, but you might know some of the names. Ernie Banks, who everyone called and still calls Mr. Cub, Ron Santo, and Glenn Beckert, and all these guys that they were more than heroes to me. In Chicago, you grew up with sports, and it's like they're your family. We would go as kids to the ballpark and get their autographs, and this is back in the day when you didn't have to pay to get someone's autograph.
Oh yeah, no, I can definitely relate to that. I had a experience with that very recently. So yeah, I know all about that.
They all loved Chicago, and they were so good to us kids. And I can't even tell you how many times I got Ernie Banks's autograph. And I'd take my little scorecard down to the wall, and I always had my Cubs hat plastered on my head. In fact, I'm surprised I don't have a ring around my head to this day. I always had it on, And my room as a kid was, first of all, my brother helped me. I have four brothers, three older. And my brother, who's really the handyman, like he painted my walls in my bedroom Chicago Cub blue.
Oh, very nice.
And then built, back then it was like a waterbed frame without the waterbed. My family just put my mattress in it, but my mom got this shag fur blue carpet, so it looked like Chicago Cubs.
Oh yeah, no, you're bringing back all the repressed memories. I don't think I actually had a bed frame until I was an adult. So.
Well, I was just fortunate. My brother Larry built that for me, and then I had a balloon-shaped baseball lamp hanging over the bed that said Cubs, and then every inch of my wall was plastered with Cub paraphernalia. Even just, I'd take the pictures out of the newspaper every day and plaster them on my wall. And it's just, I just loved those guys, and I wanted to play third base like one of my heroes, Ron Santo, for the Cubs. And at the time, it wasn't as easy for girls to be in sports, And in fact, it was the era of the battle of the sexes with Billie Jean King and Bobby Rigg.
Yeah,
I think the tennis player, yeah. And everyone was, talking about these things all the time. Can girls play sports? Should girls play sports? And it's like, you had this kind of hanging over you, but I just did it anyway. I mean, I would play. I'd get up in the morning, I'd like look through my baseball cards, right? And I would come home from school. In fact, at my school, my grade school, we would play at lunchtime. I went to this little Lutheran grade school. I went to school from kindergarten to 8th grade with the same 8 kids. And we got to play at lunchtime, and sometimes my teachers were so into it, we would play all afternoon. It was so fun, it just, everything was wrapped around sports and music for me as a kid, And I wanted to do that so badly, but I did become a professional singer and a radio DJ. Okay. So I got to sing opera. So I got to take that to a level. I sang with San Diego Opera for probably about 5 seasons. But I came to that later in life after I had a radio career. At 47, I just decided I'm going to sing opera, and I had a big voice. So went into that. So that was pretty exciting, getting to be on this massive stage, and one of the top 10 opera companies in the world at the time.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So here I am now, in my 50s. Now I'm 64, like I said. But in my 50s, I met this trainer who happened to be a Kempoist. And, he was like a 6-degree black belt. And as I was training with him, I said, I want to learn Kempo. And he's like, no, you don't want to learn Kempo. I'm like, yes, I do. But he made me like pretty much, wait a long time. And then I only got to do private lessons. He didn't really have a dojo at the time. So that was American Kempo, and I did that for years with him. But I'm going to tell y'all the real story, okay?
Ooh, I like it.
I'm all about, let's put this out here. I won't say names of people, because my purpose is not to hurt anyone, but I always hope that my own story helps other people,
Mm-hmm.
So this guy was such a narcissist. And I know that word gets thrown
Oh,
out
that never happens in Kempo. What are you talking about?
Right? Yeah. So I won't say the name, but not only that, but okay, so my husband, he was a rock star. Seriously. He was on MCA Records back in the day in a big hair band. Do you remember those? You're kind of young.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely listened to a lot of that stuff back in the day. So.
And so the band was called Femme Fatale, if anybody's interested, and you could still see them on YouTube and stuff, But and then when he quit the music business, he became a PhD physicist. Well, not like overnight, that took a while. Yeah. So we were in, had a big house, right? I mean, it was really large, but we had moved to this other state from California. And it was like, what? This only cost how much? I don't know if you know California prices, but excuse me while I drink some water here.
No problem. I'm from San Diego, so
Okay.
so yeah, I know all about that. Just real quick before we kind of get more into your story, I'm curious, what was the thing that. So, you mentioned that you always were interested in sports, but what was the catalyst for martial arts?
Well, okay. Again, I was in the era, one of the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. And so I was fascinated with boxing, right? And, I would goof around. I'm kind of small. I'm 5'4". Maybe now I'm like 145 pounds. I've never been, big, and people wouldn't think I was strong, but I was strong. It's something about boxing just really captured me, I just love the physical movement of it. So when I started doing Kempo and having some of that in it, just felt so good in the body, It's like all that movement. There are similarities to me to throwing a baseball, which I love. Just that physical movement. And the more I did it, the more I'm like, this is like the coolest thing ever. And the more I did it, the more I wanted to do it. And even though I've been through some pretty big bumps in the road, I love it,
Yeah, no, I can relate. So, I saw a certain movie, and I guess going back, I've always been interested in martial arts. I grew up watching Black Belt Theater, Kung Fu Theater, all
Oh
those
yeah.
kind of things back in the day, and Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan and Shaw Brothers movies and all of that. So I was, always hooked. I didn't get a chance to do it, even though I pestered my father for many years. I didn't get into it until I was a teenager, and kind of going back to what you mentioned with Muhammad Ali. So, I
Yeah.
can't verify this. I can't say it's true or not. But my father claimed that he was a bodyguard, one of the bodyguards for Muhammad Ali, and at the time, the other guys that were training in martial arts were getting popular, and he says that they would talk about, oh well, like, I can, with karate I can, rip a guy's heart out and show it to him before he's dies, and he said that they always talked about killing and stuff. So he had this
Yeah.
idea that karate and the martial arts were this killing art, and so that was his excuse to not let me join. But yeah, I was just always into it,
Yeah.
once once a buddy of mine got involved, I had to do the same, and even though I couldn't train, I was at the school every day from when they opened till they closed, and I'm just watching every class. And then my friend would on the weekends, my friend would give me the little download of what he was learning, and so that satiated me until the day that I could actually officially start my training. So, but yeah, just
Yeah.
everything martial arts, any movie, if somebody did a kick or a punch, whether it was a martial arts movie or not, it was like, oh, I got to watch that. I got to wear out all my videotapes and and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
I can relate to just being hooked.
Well, I got to mention one of my best friends in the world, Ray Scott. He was the first African American to win NBA Coach of the Year in 1974. Okay, and the reason that I bring him up, and I'll tell you about his book in Amazon. It's everywhere, really. But he was good friends with Muhammad Ali, and
Oh,
so I've
nice.
got to hear a lot of really cool stories. He was great friends with Wilt Chamberlain and
Oh,
Aretha
nice.
Franklin. He's got quite a story, but he's one of the most humble, intelligent, you know, good people that I've ever known. And he's 83 or 84 now, but read his book. You got to look at his book. Yeah, it's awesome. But
Very nice. Yeah, well, I'll definitely have to check that out.
yeah, it's the NBA in black and white is what it's called. So he does a lot of history. It's really cool.
Very
So
nice. Very nice.
yeah. Oh, and we got to mention Chuck Norris too. I mean, I just remember even in my 20s, going to what was the one missing in action?
Oh
Was
yeah.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
missing in action. Yeah.
Is that the one where he comes up out of the river with the knife in his mouth?
Yeah. It's been a little while. I gotta kind of slap myself. Other than Sidekicks, it's been a little bit since I watched a Chuck Norris movie, so I'm gonna have to brush back up on
Yeah.
his filmography. But yeah, yeah, that's definitely one of the good ones that he's got out there.
Yeah.
So getting to the you found this Kempo teacher and got started, and so kind of how were these initial classes, and how
Yeah.
did the kind of the training go for you? And
Well, it was really fun. Like I said, he only gave private lessons. He didn't have a dojo at that point. I guess he had over the years different dojos, but so it was just. I'll tell you the story is that every time I'd get close to testing for my purple belt, bad things would happen. He we had this huge house. I was starting to tell you, it was almost 7,000 square feet, and we had a basketball court and a swimming pool and all this stuff, right? So we thought, well, if this guy moves in, he'd be like a security guard for us because he was like 260-pound, 50-degree black belt. Then we could trade and do karate lessons, and he could protect our house. Well, yeah, he was just you know, very manipulative. And I think that I'm finding lots of people are reaching out to me, Reggie. A lot of people have had stories like this. I'm not the only one. And he would just kind of manipulate me and stuff. And he knew I wanted to do Kempo so bad. And so we finally, 2 years ago now, finally got rid of that guy. It sounds funny, but it's like, yeah, we left him, in another state. And so then I kept doing Kempo in another, organization and, had a lot of fun. But now I'm moving on. That was kind of a disappointment for me as well. And I won't go into details about that. But now I'm probably going to be doing American Kempo under Mr. John Sepulveda's organization.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, he's such a great person, and he's been so kind to me. I met him like maybe 10, 11 years ago at one of those, conferences and kind of Hall of Fame events that I went to. And so I think his system is called the American Kempo Training System. I'm pretty sure I might want to double check that. But,
yeah, that sounds correct to me.
And I'm going to also we're moving to Los Alamos, New Mexico in about 30 days.
Oh, very nice.
We get to work with Mr. Kevin Conan Bankins.
Yes, very, very nice. As we're recording here, I haven't released his episode yet, but I did get to speak with him, and that was a good chat. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that one put out. But
well, he's amazing. He not only, he does do Kempo, but he's got multiple black belts in jiu-jitsu, and he just got a black belt, he might have told you, under Royce, however you say Royce Gracie, but
Royce,
it's not.
Yeah, Royce Gracie.
Yeah. And did you get into his story, like all the tragedies and stuff that guy has been through and overcome?
I'm sure we've touched on a lot of those parts. It's actually been a little bit since I've got to listen to his episode, but yeah,
multiple things. Like he's a massively strong guy, but he was jogging down I got to tell you, because he's so inspiring to me. He was jogging down the street in Santa Fe, and someone like a sniper shot him between the eyes. And he has lost, and he's told this story. It's not like I'm telling something, but he only has 50% vision in one eye. But the guy's like this expert marksman, like gunslinger kind of guy, right? He's done movies like he did with, Matt Page, Master Ken, who's also been a great inspiration.
We definitely talked about that a little bit, for sure.
Yeah, the movie Cop versus Killer. And so when I feel sorry for myself with anything going on, I think about what I call Mr. Conan has been through, and I think, man, that guy, he keeps working harder. He's 55, and he is just like, I don't know if you could be in better shape, And so I'm so inspired by him and really thrilled that we're going to get to do all kinds of martial arts with him, And I do want to talk about Sensei Benny too, but now I have a new challenge to overcome. I have some physical issues going on. And it's the first time in my life, Reggie, that I've had pain. I've been very healthy up till now. And I have high blood sugar, and I was bad and let it go. And I think I have neuropathy. I'm getting into the doctor this week. And I'm having this just major pain and like trouble balancing and all these things. So I have days where I'm feeling really discouraged, but other days I get up and I go, I'm going to do the best I can to work out and to be as strong as I can. And I got to tell you, martial arts motivates me to want to overcome and to want to be healthy so that I can do it, And so I will have people write me a lot because I tell my story. But they sometimes think you've got it good and they don't. And I know people have challenges. So now it helps me relate more to people who are trying to overcome. And I collect stories. I see stories every day. A young man with a walker, and but he's doing kata, and it's like, okay, if that doesn't motivate you to get off your butt, I don't know what will.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can definitely relate to that. I have some health issues of my own, and I've definitely had some times where I thought, I'm not going to be able to do martial arts anymore, but just sticking with it, and not only talking to people, but just doing what you can. Listen to your body, listen to the docs, and educate yourself and on what things you can do, what you can't do, where that line is. For me, and just getting older and listening to my body, and realizing that not all the things I used to be able to do I can do now, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stop. We just keep going, and we work with what we have, and there's so many there's so many things, not just in Kempo, but so many other arts, and
Exactly.
that there's something for everybody to do, and there's no limit. The only limit is what we put on ourselves. So just getting out there and doing it makes all the difference.
Kempo is so great at tailoring things to you and where you're at. If there's an art, if you're looking at wanting to get into martial arts, I think Kempo is a good art. So, for instance, I might not be able to kick you upside the head unless you're on the ground, but I can take your knee out.
Mm-hmm.
So
manipulate the height, width, and depth. So yeah.
Yeah. And there's so many inspiring people that I've met in my journey. Like we started talking about Sensei Benny Orquidez and his wife, Sarah. I mean, they're just such wonderful people, and they are the real deal. I've been around them now multiple times, and, get to communicate with them a little bit. And they are who they say they are, they live that. And I love how healthy they are. I think Sensei turned 73 this last summer. And my favorite thing is I asked him, I had the mic at this live event, and I said, Sensei, can you still do that spinning back kick? And he said, am I breathing?
Yep. Exactly. It's kind of like when people say, "Oh, am I too old to start martial arts?" I said, "You can. You're too old when it's 10 minutes after you're dead. Then that's
Right.
That's when you're too old." So,
I run into people all the time, and I do tend to be like a little mini evangelist for martial arts. But I'll say that I do martial arts and stuff, and I tell them how old I am. And it's like, I just turned 49. It's too late for me to start. I'm like, did I just mention I'm 64?
yeah, it's never too late. I mean, I was at a seminar with Bill Superfoot Wallace, and he's gosh, I'm gonna mess up his age at the moment, but I mean he's over 70, and
I think he just might have turned 80. 79 or 80.
Yeah,
I thought I saw.
Yeah, I believe
He's
so.
amazing.
So, he still can go. I mean, go into full side splits, no problem. Almost 80, and he just, here I am down on the ground in a full split, and it's like I got to stretch for like 3 months before I can even get close to that. So, yeah, there's age is nothing but a number. So.
And Reggie, tell me your experience, but it's like I'm finding so much of it is a mental game, And Sensei Benny talks about that. He's like, he wakes up thankful and say, I get to spend another day with people that I love, And, some days I'm hurting more than others. But it's like, you know what? I'm going to do whatever I can. Maybe I'm going to walk a mile or two today, if that's all I can do. And maybe walk through katas or something, where it's not going to be so taxing. But then another day I'll go out there and I will beat the heck out of the heavy bag, you know? You know, it's like I tell myself, no, I'm not going to let this win, you know? There's so many quotes that we can, share with people, right? I'm sure you have some of your favorites, but it's like, it's not how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get up. I love that one.
Exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, anytime I need some inspiration, I throw on a Rocky, specifically Rocky 4. I don't know. I don't care who you are. You watch the training montages in that movie, and you want to train. I challenge anyone to watch that movie and not be like, hey, I gotta get out on the mat and get some training going. So, I think we all need a nice 80s montage, music and some scenes, running on the beach or something, and to get going. So, go ahead.
No, there's inspirational movies, outside of martial arts as well. I mean, I love Rudy. How many times I could watch Rudy? It's so inspiring. So
yeah, exactly. Breaking Away comes to mind.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one too. So I'm curious. Even though we're focused on Kempo, have you explored any other arts at this point, or are you looking to get into any other arts as well?
Yeah, with Mr. Kevin Conan Bankinson's Bankin's Mountain Martial Arts in Los Alamos. And let me tell you, that's only a town of like 10 or 11,000 people. It's up above Santa Fe. It's gorgeous. The National Lab is there. But his school is jam-packed. I'm like, I don't know where all these people are coming from, but he's a blast to work with. So he started teaching us the beginnings of jiu-jitsu in Zoom lessons, right? I mean, we're stretched on the floor and stuff, but I'm fascinated with it. I mean, I would like to learn. And I think Aikido, however people say it, is fascinating. I think it's a beautiful looking art. I'd like to, learn a little bit about that. I love wrist locks. Is that weird? Or arm locks?
No,
arm
that
bars?
you were preaching to the choir here. I'm a big fan of that. Actually, as we're recording here, so for those that may or may not know, unfortunately my Kempo school had to close recently. So my instructor, he's still going to work with us on doing private lessons and semi-private lessons and stuff. So I'll still get to continue my Kempo training, just kind of I guess at a little kind of reduced rate. So I decided to use this opportunity to kind of branch out a little bit and kind of see what's out there to kind of what would get my training fix satisfied.
Yeah.
So I've been on a little world tour of martial arts schools in my area, and I've been to just about all of them in the last couple of weeks. But so I did do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and some other arts, Kyokushin, some freestyle karate, some Muay Thai and everything. But I may be hitching my wagon, at least for now, to a Hapkido school. And I've done Hapkido before, so I figured, well, this would be probably a good time to get refreshed up there. But out of the schools that I had visited, this Hapkido school and a Henzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu school were kind of at the top of the list. So we're still kind of deciding which one to go with. But it's just been a fun ride, figuring it all out.
Muay Thai, that's how you say it. I feel like such a newbie still in martial arts, but Mr. Bankins does that, and man, his kick, I'll tell you what. What did they say? He did a video with Master Ken, where if you look it up, Kevin Conan Bankins with Master Ken, they do this demo of Conan's kicking, and They said his kick was 1,800 pounds of pressure or something. It's scary. But he also does judo and so I do want to explore a little bit of all those things. I mean, why not, right? It's fun.
Yeah, definitely getting, it's martial arts buffet, just get in all you can, there, why not? There's no reason not to.
Oh, and there's another young man in Albuquerque that I've become friends with, and he does Silat. When I get to New Mexico, I'm sort of looking forward to learning some things about weapons from him and all that. I gotta say, it's really fun. I did just a little bit of the sticks, like the Eskrima and what's some of the other ones called, but it's so fun. If I could keep from, banging myself in the head, it's a blast. I haven't done that yet,
Yeah,
but
well, that's part of the fun. I mean, that's why we do it. It's no fun if you don't hit yourself or hit the furniture or those sort of things. So yeah, I can I can definitely relate to that. And it's kind of interesting that you mentioned that, because I have a buddy that teaches a lot, and so I've been meaning to stop by his school as well and get a little bit of that and. Look into some Filipino martial arts, the Kali and the
yeah,
Eskrima and that sort of thing too. So
so
there's
cool.
so many things. Like it's hard to just settle. There's not enough hours in the day to train everything. So
Yeah, at least we could see them. But yeah, well, we were in Hawaii on Maui for 2 years, and there's a lot of martial arts. I was, and I think that's fascinating that pretty much every culture that I've seen has some form of martial art, right?
yeah, there's it gets around everywhere, and you'll find a school for something just anywhere you go, if not multiple schools. So I think we're really blessed that we have so much to choose from, and then now with technology and the internet and stuff, we can get exposed to even so much more
Yeah.
uh, than just, oh well, this is these are the schools that are within the 10, 20 miles of my house. It's like now we can train with people all over the world, and still get a. There are some people that may argue that, oh well, there's only so much you can get from online and video and stuff like that, and you could kind of go back and forth about the merits of online training and things like that. I'm in the camp of there's nothing that beats in person, but there's
Right.
definitely a lot that you can get gain from online or remote training if you have some balance and you have the right teachers, and there's a lot that you can get out you can get out of it. So I
Yeah.
don't just dismiss it or right off the bat. So
Yeah. So it's been really fun talking to you. I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to continuing. And now it has changed a little bit. There was this old motivational speaker. Some people laugh, Zig Ziglar, but he would tell this story about that we with our goals we have to be like a homing missile, and so you're heading towards that target, and if the target moves, you move towards the target. So I've learned from so many people. I say, oh, I'm pursuing black belt. And I know I'm not a black belt, so I don't fully know what it means, but I know that it's the spirit of you keep going, and you keep moving. And it's really ultimately not important if I get a black belt, but it's important if I'm healthy and that I'm really helping to promote the arts, and that I keep moving forward and I'm encouraging other people to move forward.
yeah, no, that's what it's all about. I mean, to be a black belt is the black belt is the white belt that didn't quit. So uh, yeah, you keep moving forward, you keep spreading the art, and that is just as much a part of the art as as doing the kicks and the punches and the chokes and the wrist locks and all of those things. There's the physical side, there's the mental side, there's the emotional side. That's all important and all, worthwhile.
And I really want to encourage young women to get into martial arts more and more. There's one page, you're familiar with, International Kempo Women's Symposium. Did I get that right? I know they recently changed their name, but there's a lot of great women martial artists all across the world, and you don't have to be in Kempo to come join that page. And you could be a man too. I mean, it's open to everyone, but it's particular there to encourage women. And I think in our culture now, especially in the United States, I really encourage women, young and old, to learn some self-defense, and some people, I think MMA is great, but it gave some people the idea that this is about being aggressive. It's not. It's really, it's the opposite of that. From what I learned from all these wonderful examples, is we do everything we can to avoid, right? But we're prepared. There's another quote that I love that I mean, some people say Bruce Lee said it, but I'm going to guess that it's older. That it's better to be the Gardner quote, where which way is it that it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war? Mm-hmm. So being prepared and then hope that we never have to use it.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that I would certainly like to see more of is the Budo, the martial way, the Miyagi way of living with the rise of MMA. A lot of that dignity and respect and those good core values that you get from martial art. A lot of that has gotten stripped away from in the MMA side, and is more interested in the spectacle and these big characters, and they're fighting and cussing and doing all these horrible things, and it's like that's not what martial arts is about. And I'm of the mind that it shouldn't be mixed martial arts. It should be more a combat sport, or I think we need to have a different name for it. But having those core values is, I think we would be better off if we got more into that. And it's great if I can choke somebody out, but if I don't have to choke somebody out because I'm peaceful and we can have a good dialogue, I would much prefer that than giving a elbow to somebody's orbital socket. So.
This is funny, but we actually ran into John Bones Jones in a grocery store, and nice. Had a short little conversation with him, and he said he wished he had done more martial arts. So I mean, he recognized that difference and appreciated it. I got a couple funny stories for you if you want to hear a funny story.
Oh, of course. I love it.
So I'm like all into Holly Holmes, and
yes.
she's reaching, towards the end of her career, if she hasn't already done her last fight. But she had just beat Ronda Rousey, and I was just like, with a room full of people, I was just besides myself, because it was like... Yeah,
I remember watching that fight.
It was like up there with watching the Cubs finally win the World Series. So I'm like walking at the mall, and my friend says, "Hey, they got Holly Holmes over there." And I thought they had a clothing line or something. She had he goes, "No, there's Holly right there." Okay, so I've met like famous people. I mean, I met Stevie Wonder. I met Whitney Houston, because I was in radio in L.A. area for a long time and in the record business and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I'm like, "Oh, hi, it's nice to meet you, Hi, Whitney, like I'm all. But when it comes to sports figures, that's a different story. So I see Holly, all of a sudden I'm like 7 years old, And I start running across the street to where she's at. And it's like I'm in slow motion. And as I'm getting across the street, my arms go in the air. And I'm like, Holly. Like, I get over there and she sees me. And of course, she's thinking, who's this crazy woman running at me? And she turned and bladed herself. I kid you not. And I got there and I stopped. And then I said, you'd think I would go, oh my gosh, Holly, you brought women's sports ahead, 50 years, all these things. And I stood there like a dope and I said, your hair is so pretty. And she stuck her hand out to shake my hand and she said, what's your name? Like I was, not altogether. And I said, Lori. So I like totally lost my cool, And she was so nice to me. Yeah.
No, I can definitely relate to that. I have a similar story about that with Cynthia Rothrock. I'm going to I can tell you the story offline because I kind of want to save it for when I get her on the show. I'm feverishly trying to get her on the show, but yeah, I definitely had a similar similar response to meeting her. So.
Yeah, I used to think I was cool when I was in the record industry, but I've lost any cool I might have had, imaginary or not. It's like I'm just a dope now, all right.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I've met a few celebrities and yeah, definitely at a loss for words, and even doing this show now, some of the people that I've gotten to talk to have already. It's been like, okay, I don't know what to say. So it's easy to get kind of starstruck. So
yeah.
So yeah, we have to mention Benny Urquidez since we brought him up at the top of the show. So yeah, go ahead and share your experiences with the great Benny the Jet.
He's an intense person in a good way. Like he just looks at you if you go up to talk to him, and he just can look right through you. I imagine that it probably comes from being that great of a fighter. You can really read people, right? But he cares about the people that he's talking to. That's a really neat thing about him. He's like, he looks right at you and listens intently, and he's never looking over your shoulder. I spent a lot of time in California and Hollywood, and everybody's always looking over your shoulder to see who's more important than you are, And that's one of the things that's really impressed me about him, and his wife too. She's just like Sarah Eaglewoman, and they both, of course, have Native American backgrounds, and they just they're at this point in their lives, I think they just want to give to people. And that documentary about him is coming out. And I'm sure you're going to be talking to Sensei Benny, not too long from now.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I just feel like it's important. The more I've been around people is to point out the people who are the real deal. And I feel that way about Mr. Conan and Mr. Sepulveda as well, and so it's just good to have these great examples, Yeah.
No, I can definitely agree with that. A good teacher, a good person, a good listener will propel you, so much more than a bad instructor or a bad person. Unfortunately, there's the bad with the good, but. Hopefully we can align ourselves with the good and become better ourselves and help be that good influence, good inspiration for the next person. So.
And you know what? If you're in a situation where you're really not sure, you know what? Go check out some other schools. Go see what it's like in different schools, and just make sure you're in the right spot. Exactly.
Yeah. I think that's a message that maybe doesn't get out out as much as maybe it should, is that yeah, don't be afraid to, if you're at a school and maybe you're not happy with everything that they've got going on, it's okay to go to a different school or go to a different style, or find a different instructor, and you don't have to be stuck with with the one that brought you.
Yeah.
It's definitely nice to be loyal to a teacher or school or
Yes.
everything, but if they're not meeting your needs, then you have to go somewhere else. And regardless of what their pedigree is, unfortunately, people are still people, regardless of their rank or their lineage. There are some bad apples out there. There are some people that maybe they're not bad, but maybe they're just on the kind of the wrong path. And it's okay to say, you know what, I need to go somewhere else, or I need to find something else. And I think that should get out there a little bit more. And it's not quitting.
No, I'm loyal to a fault, but yeah, there comes a point where loyal is not always the best thing for you. Yeah.
Exactly. So I like that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and move into our little lightning round here. So got a few questions for you, and then we'll
Okay.
kind of go to wrapping up. First one being, do you have a favorite technique?
Ooh, I like leaping crane. I don't know.
Ah,
I just
very
something
nice.
about that move is really fun to me.
Very nice. That's a good one. I feel like maybe the last couple of guests that I had picked that one. So it's definitely one of the popular ones, and falls into what I call my Kempo All-Star techniques, because I've trained in a couple of different versions of Kempo, and techniques like leaping crane, five swords, thundering hammers seem to exist in all the different versions of Kempo that are out there. So yeah, that's definitely a good one. All right. The next one, do you have a favorite form and or set?
Oh boy. I haven't advanced that far. I've had, I'm a second degree orange belt, by the way.
I like it.
I should have been a purple belt 7 years ago, but things happen.
Yeah, no, I've been there.
I like watching Form 5. I mean, it's
Oh, that's a
beautiful
good one.
to watch. Yeah, I go and I like to watch the black belts a lot. So,
Very nice. I like it. That's a good one. That's a good one. Right. Do you have a favorite weapon?
favorite weapon? Me? No.
Hey,
Um,
that counts. That's
I don't know if I like the sticks or the bow staff more yet. So when I have a little more experience, I think the sticks maybe because for my size, it's more easier to handle.
no. I like it. I like it. That is, it's probably not my favorite. I'm probably more of a staff person, but no, I like the sticks as well. So then the next question: if there was anyone that you could train with, living or dead, fictional or non-fictional, who would that be? Besides
Well,
Ed Parker, since this is a
yes.
Kempo.
I would. I'm going to train with Mr. Kevin Conan Bankins, which he's definitely one of my heroes. But I'm looking into how I could work with Sensei Benny. I think that would be. I mean, I feel like one lesson would be life changing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I like it. So now we are at our point for shameless self-promotion. So you can, this is your time to plug anything you like, or anything that maybe we didn't bring up that you wanted to get out there. Now is your time to let it out, and you have the floor.
Well, I invite people to come and join me on my personal Facebook page. I used to have all kinds of different pages, but in recent years, it's like I'm just being me, and I'm making friends with people still all over the world. I've done that before in different areas. Like I had a site called Everyday Opera, which was opera, food, wine, and travel. It's still out there. People from all over the world are on that. But, I'm kind of doing everyday life with Lori Lewis. You can find me on Facebook, and I'm trying to put up a lot of inspirational videos. And like one of my favorites recently was a gentleman who had just turned 65, and he was running a very famous race that was over 100 miles. What was that called? But anyway, it was like his 17th year in a row that he ran it, and I love looking for stories like that. It's inspiring to me. So really that's my goal, is to share my own story, both the highs and lows, and that's why, honestly, today is the first time I mentioned exactly what I'm dealing with. So I did that on your program, and you're doing a great thing, and I just hope that it continues. I know it'll continue to grow, and you're going to, get to spread the arts everywhere to people, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I thank you for taking the time to share your story. Like I mentioned, I had been wanting to chat with you for a while now. So, we'll definitely have to do this again. Get more into your journey and kind of your observations as you're coming up. So one of the things that I wanted to get with this is getting all the different perspectives, and not just, we got all the 10th degree black belts. It's like, don't get me wrong, I love talking to the OGs and all those first gens and those high ups and stuff, but I want to get the stories of everybody else in between, because they aren't who they are without the rest of us. And I love hearing the stories. I love meeting people and finding out what keeps them going, and it also gives me inspiration. As much as I love all this, there are some days I don't want to get off the couch, and doing long form 3 does not appeal to me today, and so, getting the inspiration really helps out. So, but I love the stories. I thank you again for being on, and we'll definitely have to do this again. And if there is anything, I should say I will, definitely share the links and stuff on the show notes. I'm trying to get better at that. So, we'll stay in touch, and I thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to My Empty Hands. If you enjoyed the show, please share it with a friend. If you didn't enjoy it, please share it with an enemy. If you'd like to be a guest, or if you would like to recommend a guest for the show, please email me at podcast@talkingkempo.com. Thank you.